Hey guys, happy Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Kelly Barrett, your host here on Etc. Live on the Vibe. Super excited to welcome today a special guest, one of Canada's premier drummers, formerly of Coney Hatch, and the drummer of Toronto, Barry Connors. Welcome, Barry.
Thank you very much, Kelly. It's an honor to be here. I'm going to open by saying I'm visiting my daughter west of Toronto a couple of hours, and we're on a farm. The internet is slow. I've got 3 talking parrots and 2 giant Great Danes. So normally the internet here, there's a guy outside riding a bike. For today's podcast, I've hired a second guy, so they're powering the internet right now. Bear with us, and we'll get through it. I've got some funny stories. Let's do it.
Right on, Barry. I love your attitude. You know, we're already getting a comment from my good friend, local musician Sheldon Shikaliak, who's saying, "Welcome, Barry. So great to see you and have you on the show today." So this is off to a great start. You know, Barry, I always like to start. We're going to obviously talk about current events. But I always like to get a little backstory on my guest. And so would you mind just telling us, Barry, you know, at what point do you decide that you want to make music your life?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. I am publishing a book through a company that it should be out in about 6 months. And it's just going to be full of stories, but I will tell you the opening story. And I played saxophone for 3 years. And my mother absolutely loved the saxophone. I don't mind saying we were broke. We had no money. My father left, and it was just the happiest moments of her life. So after about 3 years, I thought, I'm going to make a career of this and play saxophone. And one day we were doing a rehearsal for an orchestra, and the drummer was sick. And you can imagine an orchestra, everybody just making noise and nonsense and stupid. And I said, let me play the drums. Well, that got as big a laugh as Rodney Dangerfield would get. So the teacher finally said, okay, let's let him have a go. So I got the book out because I could read the sax and various instruments. And I picked Frosty the Snowman. And I started playing after I counted in. And instead of, I could just tap. And I thought, that is it. That is my calling. I'm playing the drums. I went home and told my mother, no word of a lie, she cried. She was so sad. That Christmas, however she did it on welfare, I woke up to a small set of cheap drums. And bless her heart, she wasn't happy about it. She stood at Maple Leaf Gardens when we headlined, and she stood twice at Massey Hall when we headlined, and we were the first rock band to ever play Wonderland in front of the diving hill there. And she came, and I think she realized, okay, I'm kind of glad that he gave up the sax for this.
Right. That's a great story, Barry. And you know what? How blessed are you to have a mom like that? You know, to come from sort of meager means and to still recognize that talent and to want to foster that. That must have been a happy moment when you woke up to that drum set. Wow.
Oh, it was absolutely incredible. And my brother bought my mother a stereo for the same Christmas. And he gave me 3 records with headphones. I got Black Sabbath Volume 4, A Nod is as Good as a Wink to a Blind Horse, which is Rod Stewart and Faces with Stay With Me on it, and Roy Buchanan. And I learned every song on all 3 of those records, and that's how I became a drummer. So thanks to those 3.
Wow, what a Christmas to remember, and look at you now, and you know, Barry, the comments are just flying in already. My good buddy Dwayne Watson, who is a super talented musician, says good morning from Vancouver. Ricky Lamha says that story is awesome, Barry. So and that by the way, I love the headphones. I love Harley the parrot in the background. fun atmosphere.
Yes, yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's why I'm out here with my daughter. I try to come as much as I can, but she is an animal lover and 3 parrots and 2 Great Danes. And she really wants me to make it clear that these are expensive, high quality headphones. They're not just to make me look like a clown looking for attention, even though I look like a clown looking for attention.
I love it. Yeah, you're killing me already too. Barry, I was told that you were a super funny guy. When I was talking to Bernie Aubin about this show, he said you'll love Barry. He's super funny, and I really get that. I'm getting that vibe from you. And Barry, you've been a part of this Canadian legend called Toronto. Juno Award nominees, 7 albums, 4 gold, for over 40 plus years, and that is incredible. That's not something every musician out there can say. And I'm wondering, what do you attest the success and longevity of this iconic band called Toronto to?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, Kelly, is Hollywoods. I am extremely honored and proud to have built a career looking at the bum of the greatest female person to ever sing in Canada, in my humble opinion. I have got so many stories from day one working with Holly, and being a young green kid that used to play, in Newfoundland in a bar for 7 people. I eventually, in my book, of course, it's a lot more detailed, but the first show I did with Toronto after about a month of rehearsing was 15,000 people at the Coliseum in Edmonton, with Martha and the Muffins and Klaatu opening. And we got to a stage where those were the shows, those were the days, but we would go to a bar afterwards, and we could go into a packed bar, and it didn't